With less than 40 days until the general election, some Democrats are worried that perhaps Joe Biden is far from a shoo-in and that this is really anybody's race.
So this comes as President Trump continues to hold in-person get-out-the-vote campaign events featuring large rallies and door-to-door voter registration. In his piece, Democrats worry Biden is playing it too safe. Hill reporter Jonathan Easley, he discusses the various concerns Democrats have as we continue down the home stretch of this campaign, and he joins us now today. It's good to see you, Easley. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, it's basically become a joke amongst journalists on Twitter. The day it'll barely be started, and Joe Biden's campaign is called a lid. In Washington speak, that means reporters will not be seeing him for the rest of the day, and that he has no public events. Day after day after day, we're getting awfully close to Election Day. What's going on here, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, you don't even really need data to support it. Just anecdotally, it's just what do you see in front of you on TV? I mean, we don't see that much of Joe Biden or Senator Harris right now. President Trump is obviously out there holding these in-person campaign events. It gets a lot of media coverage for whether or not the folks there are wearing masks or how tightly packed in they are. But they're there, and this is normal campaigning. And we're not seeing the same thing from Joe Biden. He's had 2 trips now to Wisconsin. That's 2 more than Hillary Clinton, so that's a good thing for Democrats. 1 trip to Michigan, 1 trip to Florida, made it to North Carolina for the first time yesterday. But this is not exactly, blanketing the battleground states with appearances. And then the other big piece of this is both parties are essentially running election year get-out-the-vote experiments. And Republicans, from an early point over the summer, decided that they were going to start knocking on doors again, start canvassing for their get-out-the-vote operations. Democrats taking a more cautious approach. They're not going to be doing the in-person thing. They say they've got strong mobilization efforts through digital and text outreach. But, campaigns have always been run by, you knock on someone's door and try to convince them for why they should be voting for you. The Trump campaign is doing that. Joe Biden's campaign is not. It's the first presidential campaign in a long time to not be doing that. So it's definitely sort of it's playing it safe, and I think some Democrats feel it's a little too risky, given the fact that Trump in 2016 pulled this inside straight when it came to the battlegrounds, and the polls are close enough in places like Florida and Arizona where he could do it again.
Yeah, you got some amazing quotes here. You've got one former Obama aide said that if Biden loses a close election, analysts will look back on the field operations in the same way they look back on Hillary Clinton's decision to not visit Wisconsin in 2016. Quote, if Biden loses, this will be his not going to Wisconsin, that ex-official said. Yeah.
And I mean, we're at this period now, 40 days out, and, even 100 days out, Biden has had a very safe strategy, not a lot of public appearances. Sometimes, when they have put him out there have been gaffes. It seems like maybe they're trying to protect him from that, but also they're protecting him from his own voters. Really, there's a lot of energy out there. You see it in the streets, protests around, the Supreme Court vacancy, the racial justice protests, that Biden's not really out there actively tapping into that energy right now. So, it's a risk. And, one other area that I would just note where it seems like he's playing it way too safe is with the media. I mean, he does do local media interviews when he is in these battleground states, which is really one of the only reasons why he needs to be out there at all, is getting on the airwaves there. But he's not doing a lot of national media. They're not putting him in front of reporters to take questions on the fly. And campaigning is a lot like exercising. I mean, you get better at it, you get stronger at it from being tested out there on the campaign trail. We've got a debate on Tuesday, and you have to wonder if some of those muscles that Biden's used to working might not be atrophied.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. And Jonathan, I mean, Kamala Harris is largely the same way. I mean, she's essentially just disappeared from the public eye. She never takes questions. To the extent she does interviews, she'll do some local news interviews. But the national press, I think I saw something going around yesterday that in terms of the people who travel with her, I have not even been able to ask her a question almost since she became the vice presidential pick.
They've done the bare minimum of news media. Both Vice President Biden and Senator Harris they've not been taking questions from the media, and a lot of times when they do, it's from the national press, it's what do you think about, the latest Trump outrage, whatever it is he said, the article in the Atlantic about him disparaging war veterans. It's that kind of thing. It's something that's very, very easy for him, for Biden or Harris to respond to. So, look, Chris Wallace, I think Chris Wallace is going to have some more difficult questions for Biden, and it's going to be the first time in months that he's faced really difficult questions.
Yeah. I mean, the counter argument, though, is, look, even before the pandemic, in the Democratic primary, he didn't do all that much. There were states that he didn't have a field office in, that he did not even visit once, that he won, handily, overwhelmingly. So maybe this all matters a lot less than we think.
I mean, the one thing that you can say about the Biden strategy right now is that it appears to be working. I mean, he's running up the score on Trump in all of these national polls. He's running extremely strong in the Rust Belt and Midwest states that he needs to win, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. It's been consistent and comfortable for months. He's running neck and neck with Trump in some states that Trump has to win. States that Trump won comfortably in 2016, like Ohio and Iowa, in traditionally red states like Texas and Georgia. He's got a wide path to the White House. If he can just flip some of these states that Trump was able to, these battlegrounds that Trump was able to carry in 2016. So, the play it safe strategy has worked for them, maybe, and they're absolutely blanketing the airwaves with campaign ads. They've got something like $150 million cash advantage on the Trump campaign in this final stretch. They can kind of sit back and play it safe and rely on these ads that they're running in the battleground states. The Trump campaign is putting all their money into this ground game. The Biden campaign thinks it's better to hit people on the airwaves. We'll find out who is right and who is wrong on Election Day. But you could say that this play it safe strategy, just based on the anti-Trump energy that is out there among Democrats, is adequate. At least right now, it seems like it's working.
Adequate. That's a very good word to use to describe Joe Biden. Jonathan Easley, thank you so much. Great to have you.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have more Rising for you after this.